Robbo, thank you very much for sitting down with us today, and a very big welcome to Birmingham City as well. How pleased are you to be joining the club at this time?
Yeah, I'm delighted. Obviously, it's an opportunity for me myself to get back into English football with Wayne. And when he asked me to be part of his staff, there was no second thoughts.
When the opportunity came about, what else convinced you that it was the right one for you?
Well, I know the size of the club. Obviously, I lived in the Midlands many years ago in the area for 9 or 10 years. So I know how much of a big club it is, obviously, and the infrastructure's here in place. And after speaking to Wayne and the plans that the new owners have with the football club, not just from the top, but also down to the academy setup as well, it was a really exciting plan, and it's one that I wanted to be part of.
You've been working with the gaffer as well as Pete Shuttleworth over at DC United over the last year. What do you enjoy about working with them?
They're different, and I think to have a good mix and balance of a staff, you need different people of what your skill set is, and Pete and Wayne are different in relation to me. We all look at the game the same way of how it wants to be played, but our characteristics are different, and I think different people sometimes mix when you put the common goal, which is football, and I think that's the relationship has been very, very strong over the first 9 months that I've known Wayne and Pete, and it will continue to get stronger.
And you were a head coach yourself for around a decade in the MLS and in Australia before joining Rooney's coaching staff. How do you hope to apply those experiences here?
Yeah, I think when you're the manager and you're in a job, you actually have got your own ideas, and you're quite single-minded, because you know that the buck stops with you, and you have to stick to your decision, and you're quite clear with what you want. I think when you're a support coach, a support system to the manager, I think you're able to look at it with a slightly wider lens. I've managed to put that across to Wayne. At the end of the day, the manager makes the decisions, and we all stick with him with that. But you just look at things that are slightly different, and it's been a great experience for me, because I went from being a player coach to an assistant only a short period to then a manager, and I'm re-educating myself as well as an assistant. I love being on the grass. I love coaching players individually to make them better, to make them better collectively, and tapping into people's minds, because I'm a big believer if you get to know the person, you can get the best out of the player, because players react differently and learn in different ways, but the biggest thing is obviously getting to know them.
You'll be very familiar with the Championship as well from your playing days. You won it twice with Portsmouth and then Sunderland. How much are you looking forward to competing in it as a coach now?
Yeah, no, it's something that puts a smile on my face. I've never shied away from looking at the Championship results, even more so than the Premier League at times, because I spent the bulk of my career in the Championship and had some wonderful times. I was very fortunate to play with some wonderful clubs and get promotion, and there's special moments, and you don't ever forget them. But it seems a long way away, many years ago. But I'm just looking forward to this opportunity. I know the Championship, obviously, players have changed now. Young players that were playing when I was playing have got a lot older. But you see the talent in the Championship. It's a hard league. You've got to be prepared to roll up your sleeves and fight. But the organisational skills that the manager wants to bring in and how he wants to play, it's a clear identity. It'll give players clarity, and it will be enjoyable to watch. And what we've got to do is make sure that we win more games than we don't. But training will be vibrant, training will be intense. We train the way we play, and then hopefully we can show that on a Saturday of what we're about.
And how have you enjoyed your first week here as well and getting to know all the players?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been literally got off a plane one day and then started training the next day. So it's been a whirlwind, but I wouldn't change it for the world. Obviously, being back in the UK with my wife and my son, even though my daughter's on the other side of the world in Vancouver, has been a nice transition for me. I'm only 3 hours away rather than 7 hours on a flight and 4 hours in a car. So that makes it a lot easier. But the boys have been brilliant. They really have. It's never easy when there's a change in the building. But the openness and the honesty, I think, of the manager has been clear. Sometimes you take advantage of an opportunity, and we know we're walking into a big football club with people that want to progress, that want to get to the top tier. And Wayne is a born winner from his playing background. He understands the Championship as well, and he's a great leader in relation to staff as well as players. So really looking forward to it.
And finally, does this feel like a group here that you can really work well with?
It does, yeah. The simple things, and people say, "Oh, how do you change the mentality of a team?" And I think they're in a good place. But I'm a believer of if you can tap into the players' minds to get 1% or 2% better from each player, if you look at that across the board, you can get your team better by 20%. And that always won't happen, but there's no reason why tactically, technically, the physical and the mental side of it, you can't tap into a player's mind and their ability to improve them by 1%. Well, suddenly you become a 10, 11% team, better off team. And that's what we've got to do. We've got to take it in stages, bit by bit, step by step. When you've got an engaging group who want to learn, that are inquisitive, that ask questions, and the non-negotiable fundamentals which they have already instilled in them are the hard work, roll up the sleeves and fight, and don't go under. It's a really, really good starting point.
Robbo, thank you very much.
Thanks.